So yesterday we have completed one test in the load test, and after that we need to analyze the results. Means you can go to the analyze results. You can go to the click on analyze results. Then what will happen means what is the current test result will be? It is a display. See in where it is opening, we have the one more component load runner analyzer. So using the analyzer, what are things we can do means we can analyze the results to find out the bottlenecks. Like analyze the results, nothing but we want each and every transaction. We are meeting our SLA or not, we need to check. Okay, maybe we are meeting SLA, then we are good, and directly we send to that report to the client. Maybe you are not meeting SLA, then what you need to do? You need to find out the where could be problem. See, yesterday we are executed. This is the test, 12 minutes 20 seconds, and this name is the sample test. And you can observe here, total maximum running users we are executed 40, and total throughput is generated this average throughput, and total hits and average hits, and past transaction status we are able to see the ratio will be 99%. Means out of 100, 99.318 means your test will be good. Okay, and you can observe for the each and every transaction we are getting for the exact correct response name or not, we need check. And the same too, you can see the end of this strip is 200. What is the 200? What is the 200? Hello? What is the 200? Everyone will be there, not there. So 200 means we are sending for the successfully request and we are receiving from the successfully response. We can call it as a 200 means that is a valid response we are getting. So 500 means it internal server. We got only one. So now you can observe for the transactions. Our transaction is there. You can go there and you need to observe for the each and every transaction you are getting for the like 2 seconds or not, you need to observe. First transaction what launch is, how much time is taken, 0.11 second. Okay, and after that launch login is a 0.895, and after that click on flight will be 0.194, and find flight will be 0.394, and after that find flight, what is the transaction? Payment is for the 0.24 second. So all transactions within the SLA or not? All transactions we are getting within the SLA. Then your test is good. Then what we need to do? We need to send this report to the client. Maybe you can assume payment is took from the 2.24 seconds. Then what is your job? Means you need to identify the where could be problem. So how to identify the bottlenecks means you need to identify the bottlenecks. We need to follow the some process. Like first thing will be we want to client state statistics. One is for the client state statistics. One is for the server side. One is for the web page dynamics. One is for the application side. So we need to dig the issue this way. Like first will be client state statistics. What are the client state statistics? Nothing but see running users hit per second, throughput, and transactions response time. We can call it as a client state statistics. So by merging these graphs, we need to identify the issue could be application side or server issue. We need to identify. For example, we can see how to we can merge graphs. Means you can click on hit per second graph and you can click on right button for this graph, and we are able to see the merge graph will be there. Everyone able to see? See, this is the merge graph. You can click on merge graph. So here it is asking for the hit per second versus which graph you want to merge. So for example, first I will merge for the throughput. And now you can observe hit per second and throughput we are merging, and selected type of merge also we have the different type of mergings will be there. First one will be overlap. What is the overlap? Means like view content of two charts that share a common x-axis. Means it is coming from the sharing for the two same and chart from the x-axis. And tile, you can select a tile. Then you can observe view the contents of two charts that share common x-axis one above each other. Means this is the overlap. It will have the overlap for two graphs. But when you are select for that tile, it will be access the one above each other, it will come. And if you select correlate, plot y-axis of two charts against each other. So means in this two, we don't have any y-axis, but when you are select for the correlate, it will be plot y-axis of two charts against each other will be displayed. Now we'll see the first will be overlap, and I am merging the graph, which graphs it per second and throughput, and click on OK. See, these two graph will be merged very good or not. You can observe. See, there is any zigzag will be there, like say for example this graph here, maybe this throughput graph here means your test will be went not good, but you can observe everything will be merged good, looking good. See, you can merge this graph, means by seeing the graph also we need to identify the issue could be this client state statistics or not, we need to identify. Maybe you can merge the graph, you can identify that first graph will be here and second graph will be here, and again first graph here and second graph here. So it will be not met properly, then we can consider as a it is a network or sorry, it is a application side or web server issue we need to consider. So you need to find the issue only, we not resolve anything. Okay, as a performance test engineer, we should be just to identify the issue, then particular team we need to recommend it to them. We are observed that client test statistics will be it is not matching properly, so it may be a web server issue. Could you please check for this point of view? Then they will check any web server issue, they will resolve, and again we can do for the one more kind of test. So now this is the one, right? Again we can match for the it per second, and we can match for that. This time will be different one, like time, just your understanding point of view. So you can observe here. Oh, sorry, I merge for the transaction response time and this one, right? Okay. Merge graph, and you can select for the throughput and select tile graph and click on merge. See, one above each other it is coming. Means by seeing this graph also, you need to identify the both graphs look like same or is any different is showing. See, you can observe both graphs will be same. Means both should be direct proportional or inverse proportional. By merging it per second throughput, both should be direct proportional or inversion. Direct proportional. Okay, direct proportional. And by merging the graph, we can merge throughput and response time, and we need to observe that two will be like direct proportional or inverse proportional, we can observe. See, throughput and response time both should be running users are run. Both should be direct proportional, inverse. So inverse. Okay, so and same to the we can merge the graph throughput and response time also we can merge, and we can observe. Okay, merge graphs, and you are merging the throughput with response time. How the transaction response time will be right, you can match this. See, both should be direct or inverse. See, maximum every graph like throughput and response time only inverse proportionals compared to the throughput it per second and it per second and running users. So these graphs will be direct proportionals. For interview, anyone asks for the what is the like throughput and response time will be, both should be direct proportional or inverse proportional, means they will ask means we need to give for the answer in inverse proportional only. It's clear? Client state statistics, everyone. So maybe you merge the graph, you didn't identify any issue. Okay, you merge the graph, but you didn't identify any issue. Then what you need to do? You need to check for the server side statistics. Server side statistics nothing but CPU and memory utilization. So CPU memory utilization, how do you can check this CPU and memory? Maybe you are already configuring controller as a Windows resource. You can go there and you can check there. Okay, so you can go to here and we are able to see the this also. We are able to see the CPU memory also. We are able to see. Okay, already yesterday I told, right? If it is a Windows based application, so it is crossing more than 80%, then CPU memory is insufficient for particular user point of view. So that is the point of view. We need to dig the server side. So server side also clear, everyone? Server side nothing but CPU and memory utilization. So you need to check both, and maybe server and like CPU memory is not sufficient. You need to recommend it to that particular team. Could you please increase for the CPU memory? Because we are executed with the 40 users, 40 user test. So it is not went good because CPU memory is crossing more than 80%. So could you please increase the CPU memory? So we need to recommend it to them. Then they will increase for the CPU memory utilization. So that is the second thing. And going to the third thing, web-based diagnostics will be there. So using for the web-based diagnostics, we can drill down the application, whether issue could be like it is a network issue or server issue, we need to identify. How to we can do means, we can click on graph and add new graph will be there. And once you can click on add new graph, you are able to see the different type of graphs. And you can observe here, users, running users and users will be there. And the transaction point of view, you are able to see that different type of will be there. Average transaction response time will be there. Transaction per second will be there. Transaction summary will be there. So these all will be different web transaction graph. And web resource nothing but as a client says statistic per second, throughput. Now I explained, right? Connections and response time. So these all will be coming from the web resource graphs. And go into the, now I explained, right? Web-based diagnostics. What is the web-based diagnostics? You can observe here. We can page component breakdown, and we have the page download time breakdown and time to first buffer breakdown graph. So you need to add, first will be, we can add this. And if you want to add page component breakdown, so just I'm adding the graph. So okay, now we'll observe. See, I added web-based diagnostics. See, we can observe for here. So you can observe this is the means page component. Each page wise we are digging the issue, like which URL it is taking high response time. Like this is the reservation one. Say you can observe we need to concentrate average. You can observe this is the 2 seconds happen. Which URL means you can observe this is the login transaction. See, bin login means it's a login page is taking for some time will be more. Means each page wise we need to dig the issue as a web-based diagnostics. Means you need to identify the like, okay, login is taking time. So you observe that. So this page is taking maximum time it is taking. So that could be issue, could be maybe network issue, maybe server issue, it will happen. So that is why we need to check for the which component, which page it is taking high response time. You need to identify the using for the web-based diagnostics. You can click on the component level. Also, we are able to see the component level. This is also URL only reservation, and see you can click on this. It is highlighted for that graph.
After identifying that which page is taking more time, then how to resolve that?
So for example, you will find that, okay, is a transaction. This is the transaction login pages. It is a login URL. It is taking high response time. It is taking for the 2.241 seconds. Otherwise, it is taking for the 20 seconds. You can observe. Okay, you find that one. Then what you need to do, you need to go to the particular page and you need to identify the first thing manually. You need to like open that URL and it is taking that time or not. You need to identify first thing. And after that, what we need to do means we need to check for the, we need to send this request to the particular dev team. For this URL, it is taking high response time. Could you please check your point of view, like your code, like they are check for their code point of view, like they are written for code will be, it is taking any response time will be high. So they will check for their point of view. Okay, they will give for the, okay, we written for some code will be consumed. So because of that is taking response time will be high. So now we change for some code changes. Now we can execute for the same. Then we can execute. Then we need to resolve the like this. Got it, Shravanti? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So here in web page dynamics, we can download time point of view we need to observe, and component also we need to check for the component level, and to time to pass to buffer graph also will be there. So using this point of view, we need to dig the issue and we need to identify the whether it could be web page dynamics or not. Like it is a network issue or server issue, we need to identify that. It's clear, everyone? Now I explain how many bottlenecks. 3 type of bottlenecks. What are there? Client state statistics, nothing but it per second throughput, connection, response time. And the second one will be server side statistics. Server side nothing but CPU and memory utilization. And going to the next one will be net like web page dynamics. So next to final one will be application side statistics. So application side means, see, you need to identify the how to can identify the application side means we need take for the some heap dump will be there. So when you are executing the test, some heap dump will be generated for you. So for that heap dump, you want to how to analyze means we have the heap analyzer is a one tool will be there. What is the heap dump you are downloaded? You need to import that heap dump to that heap analyzer tool. Then we are able to see the like how we are here seeing, right? We are seeing for the URL point of view, but there we are seeing for the each code point of view. For example, some code is this code is taken this much of response time. This code is taken this much of response time. We are able to see. So we need to check for the which code, which class it is taking high response time. You need to identify. Like you find that okay, one class some login class is taking high response time. Then you can copy that class and that code, and you need to send the mail to the developer team. We observe that this login part code is taking high response time. This is the taking for the more than 20 seconds is waiting for that code. So because of that, my transaction response time will be, we are not meeting SLA. Could you please resolve that issue? Then they will check for their point of view and they will resolve. For here is one thing is clear. So you are not resolve one issue also. Just you need to identify the issue, and using the which team it is that issue, you need to check that team and you need to identify the issue. Clear? So going to the next.
We are clear, but from testing side, we no need to dig the issue and we no need to resolve
find
it.
the issue. See, you need to find the issue. That is your job.
Okay.
So how to find the means we have the base will be there. Already I told, right? You need to compare client side, server side. You need to check for the one by one, and you need to dig the issue. Okay, it is a issue will be application side. It is issue server side. Maybe it is issue will this. Maybe sometimes one more thing will be there. DB side issue also will be there. For example, login point of view is the picking for the bean, and the Jojo bean will be there. In a DB point of view, they written for the some queries also will be there, right? So for example, that query is picking also sometimes taking high response time also it is happen. So how to we can identify that means we have the AWR report will be there. Use by seeing that AWR report, we need to check for that AWR report, like which core is taking high response time. I think I have one AWR report. I will show that. So this is the performance AWR report. And once you can download the AWR report, okay, this one we can like for example, test is completed. Assume I executed test from the 6 to 7 p.m. Then I want for this timestamp of the test. So I send to the some EMS team will be there, some help desk team or some we have some different types teams will be there. They will be download this ADAV report. We don't have access. Then they will download it and they will give to us as a this far. This is the they are sending for the like this. Then we need to open that and then we need to check for the what is the issue. Like you can observe snap time and end snap. Means it is executed this many hours, and in this point of how many sections happen and how many instances happen, and we are able to see the many things. We are able to see the ADAV report. Okay, and major thing we need to observe for the 1 minute somewhat will be. So you can observe here one point will be there. DB time. DB time nothing but is the elapsed time will be mean that see DB time nothing but is elapsed time will be mean that the sections were active on database concurrently. You can find the average activity section during the ADAV time. Like you are able to see the DB time like that. You are able to see the 1964 seconds is equal to 2.18 seconds. So for this, okay, you need to identify the so you can observe here. This is the we need to identify the like this SQL ordered by elapsed time. So means each query, how much time response time we are got, we are able to see this, and this is this last will be there. See, one section will be there. They are explaining for the which purpose we can use for the 1 by SQL order by get, SQL order by read. In the document not there, so we are able to see the in the end of the ADAV report. This is the something is edit one. End of the ADAV report, we are able to see the like which query is taking high response time. We are able to see like that query will be very big, not small. Okay, because the backend will be the written very big codes for the our DB team. So we need to identify that like one query it is taking for the more than 30 seconds or 50 seconds you identified. So that query you need to copy there and you need to send to that issue with the DBT. Like we are fine for the some DB side, one of the queries are taking high response time. Could you please resolve that and get back? Then they will, what they can do, their point of view, they will like they use it for the many join condition, maybe they use for the many classes, and they are used for the different things, right? They will, what they can do means they will check for the their point of view, then they will write for the very simple way, then again we can execute and we are able to good response time or not, we need check. Got it? So this is the way we need to dig the issue and we need to find that, and once we can resolve that issue, you need to do for the again one more kind of test and you need to report to the client. That is your job. This is the only our end-to-end performance testing. So maybe you are good results, then what we need to do, we need to this report we need send to from the team or anyone, means what you need to do means you can click on the reports and click on report template will be there, right? You can click on report template, and for here you can click on generate report. See, this is the entire test details will be there, like scenario name, run date, period, duration, and what is the business process you are executed. And see, you can observe web HTTP/HTML and web tour flight booking, both scenarios you are executed. And you are able to see the total number of virtual users, transaction per hour, how much it is calculated, and what is the start time, what is the think time. Replay, as you can observe, I given as a replay as a recorded think time, where I said this one in runtime settings in the controller. And pacing also I given, you can observe, as soon as possible I given, because I am not given any pacing. So this is the running users and total transactions, and you are able to see the this is the performance overview, like what is the average transaction response time, total passed transaction, how many happen, how many failed happen, and what is the transaction success rate percentage, total errors per second, how many happen, total errors will be 2 seconds, and HTTP status code summary, like it is a 200, means it's a we are getting from the successful request and response, then good. 500, maybe 500 only you are seeing for the more number of like 4,000, then your test will good. No, right? Because all is 500 means you are getting for the number of error count will be 100%. Then transaction summary, this is the important, we need to observe for the transaction response time, average response time of each and every transaction. And after that you are able to see the everything. So you can observe web page diagnostics, worst URLs, means which URL it is taken high response time, it will be which one is the first, so 15 times this one, and what is the average will be, it can observe total will be 5.879. okay, average also you can observe 2.473 happen this URL. Which URL, this is the, you can observe we are using for the web page component also, we identify that this URL is taken high response time. So after that second, this is the transaction next. So by seeing this, we need to identify the where is the issue also, we need to identify the worst URL, which is the worst URL by average response time. This is the average response time. See, most resource consuming URL. Most resource consuming URL, nothing but resource consuming means and CPU memory utilization, which URL it's taken total time, total server time. So we need to see it is a maximum average will be 2.053. This happen this is the 2.572, and you are able to find this URL. It is taking from the more CPU utilization, memory utilization, we need to concentrate. largest URL by average kilobytes space, which is the URL. We need to, by average and by size also, we need to identify the issues. So after that, what are we are added running users graph and throughput graph, it per second graph, and you can observe all graphs transaction summary graph, like each and the transaction, how many times happen, launch how many times happen, login how much time happen, flight booking, these all things we are able to see that this is the transaction summary. This is the average transaction response time, means each transaction response time. We are able to see this one. So now this report you want to send means the save will be there. You can click on save and you can save this to the which format you want. Like if you want for the any PDF file, otherwise if you want for the any text file, if you want for the CSV file, you can select any one of the format. For example, I want for the Microsoft Excel format. You can select this, and once you can click on this, what will happen is automatically the results will be saved. You can click on OK. Then it is asking for the results. So I giving for the sample test, and I given for the yesterday executed, right? I will give for the 2209. I give it just understanding point of view. See, it is saved. Now you can go to there, and this is the right. You can open. See, all results will be displayed here. All results will be displayed this. So maybe what will happen? You are sent this report, everyone can understand. So who is know for the performance testing terminology and this all things, they will know. That is point of view. What we need to do means we need to prepare the one small report. Like we need to prepare the see just these things important, because what time you are executed, what is the these things, right? You can copy and paste it these things. And after that, what are the things we need means they don't know these all things. They want only transaction response time. You can copy this transaction summary, right? We'll take for transaction graph. Then we are able to see that everything is good. Throughput transaction summary. This is the average transaction. So you can take for this is for us enough. You can copy, and if you want this also, you can copy this. And because what is that, you can copy this and you can keep it here. Okay. Now we are able to see the all transactions here. Okay, now we are able to see the minimum, average, maximum. For this, you need to set the transaction. First will be launch. You can keep for the, this will be no need. Action transaction. You can remove that. In this place, you can keep for the, which one? Launch is the first transaction, right? You can keep this. And after launch, what is the transaction? Login. So before that, you need to insert one cell. So login. So you need to set all things, and just we need to send this means everyone can understand. Okay, you executed this test, this date, and total will be each and every transaction, average response time. This is they know. Okay. Login. After login, next transaction will be click on flights, right? You need to set this, and you need to green this one, which is the like this is also no need. We can delete this because only our transaction only we need.